Unveiling the Sokoto Caliphate, a legacy of faith, power, and scholarship. Ever heard of an empire built on faith and scholarship that once dominated West Africa? Prepare to journey back in time and discover the fascinating story of the Sokoto Caliphate. The story of the Sokoto Caliphate begins in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, a period of significant religious and social upheaval in the Hausa city-states of what is now northern Nigeria. These states, while nominally Muslim, were perceived by many as having syncretized Islamic practices with traditional beliefs, leading to widespread discontent among reformist Islamic scholars. Uthman Dan Fodio, a Fulani scholar and religious leader, emerged as a prominent voice of dissent. Born in 1754, Dan Fodio was a well-respected teacher and writer who advocated for a return to what he considered the pure tenets of Islam. His teachings resonated with many, particularly among the Fulani pastoralists and the Hausa peasantry, who felt marginalized by the ruling elite. The catalyst for the jihad was Dan Fodio's exile from Gobir, one of the most powerful Hausa kingdoms. This act of persecution ignited the simmering tensions, and in 1804, Dan Fodio declared a jihad against the Hausa rulers. This was not merely a war of conquest, but a movement aimed at establishing a just and righteous Islamic state based on the principles of the Quran and the Sunnah, the teachings and practices of the Prophet Muhammad. The Fulani jihad, fueled by religious zeal and a desire for social justice, quickly gained momentum. Dan Fodio's forces, composed of Fulani warriors and Hausa converts, achieved a series of stunning victories against the Hausa armies. The jihadists captured key cities including Gobir, Kano, Katsina and Sokoto, which became the capital of the newly established caliphate. By 1815, the Sokoto Caliphate had expanded to encompass most of what is now northern Nigeria, northern Cameroon and parts of Niger. This rapid expansion was not solely due to military might. Dan Fodio's message of reform and his promise of a more equitable society attracted widespread support from various ethnic and social groups. The impact of the Sokoto Caliphate extended far beyond its borders. The success of the Fulani Jihad inspired similar movements in other parts of West Africa, leading to the creation of Islamic states in Senegal, Mali and Chad. The Caliphate became a beacon of Islamic revivalism and a major center of religious and intellectual activity. Uthman Dan Fodio's vision for the Sokoto Caliphate was not just about territorial expansion. It was also about establishing a just and well-governed society based on Islamic principles. He implemented a system of administration that emphasized consultation, accountability, and the rule of law. After Dan Fodio's death in 1817, his son Muhammad Bello succeeded him as the Sultan of Sokoto and the commander of the faithful, becoming the second caliph. Bello continued his father's work, consolidating the caliphate's power and promoting scholarship and trade. He was a skilled administrator, a prolific writer, and a patron of the arts and sciences. The Sokoto Caliphate was divided into emirates, each ruled by an emir who was responsible for administering his territory according to Islamic law. These emirates were largely autonomous, but they were also bound to the caliph in Sokoto, who served as the supreme religious and political authority. This decentralized system of governance allowed for local variations in administration while maintaining overall unity and adherence to Islamic principles. The Sokoto Caliphate experienced a period of remarkable cultural and intellectual flourishing, often referred to as its golden age. Uthman Dan Fodio, Muhammad Bello, and Abdullahi Dan Fodio, Uthman's brother, were all accomplished scholars who contributed significantly to Islamic literature, jurisprudence, and history. The Caliphate became a center of learning, attracting scholars and students from across West Africa and beyond. Mosques and schools were established throughout the Caliphate, promoting literacy and religious education. The Sokoto Caliphate produced a vast body of literature in Arabic and Fulfulde, covering a wide range of subjects including theology, law, history, medicine, and astronomy. This intellectual activity fostered a climate of innovation and creativity. The Caliphate also experienced a period of economic prosperity, driven by agriculture, trade, and craftsmanship. The establishment of peace and security facilitated the growth of trade networks, connecting the Sokoto Caliphate with other parts of West Africa and the wider Islamic world. Despite its initial success and its period of prosperity, the Sokoto Caliphate eventually began to decline in the late 19th century. Several factors contributed to this decline, including internal rivalry, succession disputes, and the growing threat of European colonialism. The vast size of the caliphate and the relative autonomy of the emirates led to occasional conflicts and power struggles. Succession disputes, particularly after the death of prominent emirs, often resulted in instability and weakened the caliphate's central authority. The most significant threat to the Sokoto Caliphate came from European colonial powers, particularly the British and the French. These powers, driven by economic and strategic interests, began to encroach on the caliphate's territory in the late 19th century. The caliphate, weakened by internal divisions and lacking modern weaponry, was unable to resist the European advance. By 1903, the Sokoto Caliphate had fallen to French and British colonial armies. The British conquered Sokoto, the capital of the caliphate, and deposed the Sultan. The French occupied other parts of the caliphate, incorporating them into their colonial territories. The fall of the Sokoto Caliphate marked the end of an era in West African history. However, the legacy of the caliphate continued to resonate long after its demise. The British, recognizing the Sultan's continued influence, allowed him to remain as a ceremonial ruler under indirect colonial administration. The Sokoto Caliphate's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It represents a period of Islamic revivalism, state-building, and cultural flourishing. It also serves as a reminder of the challenges faced by African societies in the face of European colonialism. The Caliphate's emphasis on education, justice, and good governance continues to inspire many in Nigeria and beyond. Even after the colonial era, the Sultan of Sokoto remains a highly respected figure in Nigeria, particularly among the Muslim population. The Sultan serves as the spiritual leader of Nigerian Muslims and plays an important role in promoting peace, unity, and understanding between different religious and ethnic groups. The current Sultan, Muhammad Sa'adu Abubakar, who ascended to the throne in 2006, is a direct descendant of Uthman Dan Fodio. He is a prominent voice for interfaith dialogue and has worked tirelessly to address issues such as poverty, inequality, and religious extremism. The Sultanate of Sokoto continues to wield considerable influence in Nigerian society, serving as a symbol of tradition, continuity, and Islamic values. Its enduring legacy is a testament to the vision and leadership of Uthman Dan Fodio and his successors. The story of the Sokoto Caliphate is a rich and complex one, filled with lessons about faith, power, and the enduring human quest for a just and equitable society. Now it's your turn to delve deeper. Research the key figures of the Caliphate, explore the impact of its legal and educational reforms, and consider its place in the broader context of African and Islamic history. Share this fascinating story with others, sparking conversations and promoting a greater understanding of this important chapter in our shared past. Let's keep the legacy of the Sokoto Caliphate alive through continued learning and engagement.